And lastly, for learning activity 3.2, entitled Index of Refraction in the Eye. The wavelength of the red light from a helium neon laser is 633 nanometer in air, but 474 nanometer in the aqueous humor inside your eyeball. Calculate the index of refraction of the aqueous humor and the speed and frequency of the light in it. So, the key ideas here is that the definition of index of refraction n in the terms of the wave speed v in a medium and the speed c in a vacuum, and the relationship between the wavelengths, initial wavelength in vacuum and the wavelength in a medium of index n. We use equation 3.1, which is index of refraction is equals to speed of c in vacuum over speed of the medium. And equation 3.5, wavelength of a medium or wavelength in a medium over is equals to wavelength in vacuum over index of refraction, and speed is equals to wavelength times frequency. Now, the index of refraction of air is very close to unity, so we assume that the wavelength is in vacuum is the same as that in the air, 633 nanometer. Bakit yun? Kasi nga, index of refraction from this equation 3.5, since air in a vacuum has an index of refraction of 1, so kapag 1 ito, and then ito is 633 nanometer, so the wavelength in the vacuum is the same as the wavelength in the air. So this is the wavelength in vacuum 633. So the wavelength in the air is 63 since the index of refraction is 1. So let's proceed. Again, for index of refraction is equals to the 633 in air over 474 sa aqueous humor inside your eyeball. Okay? 633 nanometer in air but 474 nanometer in the aqueous humor inside your ball. So the first material is air and the second material is the humor inside your eyeball. So 633 is the first material and 474 is the second material wavelength. Yan na. So the index of refraction is 1.34. This is about the same index of refraction of water. Then using this relationship, index of refraction is equals to C over V, and V is equals to wavelength times frequency. We can find that the speed of the wavelength in that material, in the second material, the humor inside your eyeball, is equals to the speed of vacuum of the light in vacuum, speed of air in the vacuum, 3 times 10 to the positive 8 meter per second over the index of refraction na 1.34. Okay, now makukuha natin si speed of the helium neon pagdating niya kay humor, aqueous humor sa ating eyeball. So, it is 2.25 times 10 to the 8 meters per second. Now, calculate the index of refraction of the aqueous humor, the speed na kuha natin, and the frequency of the light in the aqueous humor. So, frequency of the light in it is just this relationship. So, frequency, ang kailangan natin is frequency lang. So, ibababa natin si lambda. Ang mangyayari is V over lambda or wavelength. Now, we input the value of speed of light in the aqueous humor, 2.25 times 10 to the 10 meter per second, And the wavelength ng ating aqueous humor from the problem, 474 nanometer. Nano is times 10 to the minus 9. So 474 times 10 to the minus 9 meter. Cancel the meter and we'll be having 1 over second. And 1 over second is equivalent to hertz. So by inputting these values, we can get frequency of 4.74 times 10 to the 14 hertz. We will continue this 3.3 in our next session.